We need a fire like intro.
I,
We need a good one.
we do. Got to. But while we don't have that currently, fuck it. If y'all know the sound of my voice, y'all know who this is. This your boy Shy. This is not grit talk, but still same rules apply. Still gonna be grimy. This is whose man's is this? I'm joined by my good sis here, Miss Cassie Ray.
Hello.
How you doing today?
We living. It's
Living.
A good,
That's
it's a
all
good
we
day.
can do.
It's a good day.
It's a busy day.
No,
It's
it
definitely
is.
a busy
It
day.
absolutely is.
So I'm excited, yo. Like this is
This is our new baby.
right. I was just gonna say like
this is our new baby.
This the baby right here. This is a different concept, and this was from Raw. Like at least with Grit Talk, we had a lot of people, a lot of overhead to try to figure things out.
This is man versus woman.
Right, whole
He
time.
versus she.
So what this show is as you can see, the real battle of the sexes. If you know me, you know the misogyny in me.
Is alive and well.
It's a lot of stuff I'm trying to unlearn. But here on Who Mans Is This? This is an open forum to where at the end of the episode, we at least want to come to some kind of mutual agreement because, boy, I just don't see the world from a woman's perspective. It don't make sense to me.
So this is where all of you shies out there, you can come to agree to disagree or find a new ground to agree on. Maybe shed some light.
I think this is. I think for me this is important because, like, last couple years. I say year. I would say year. I'm trying to stay out my own way. So if I know there's other people like me, so I just feel like to just hear the different dialogue and different perspectives is important because if not, well, this world it's gonna be rough.
It's a foul place to be living in when you got a one-track mind.
Right, and after the year we just had in 2020, everybody had to repivot and rethink things and restructure everything. Some for the best, some for the worst. I felt like it was necessary for me, and that's why I wanted to create this platform, and also wanted to be joined by you because you gonna keep it grounded and you gonna keep it real.
Well, we got a good almost 8 years in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, hey, we done had some rough times. We got hella stories.
This is like the true definition of like A1 since day one.
Facts. Definitely.
But yeah, we've seen a lot of growth in each other. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's been a wild ride.
Right. But so first episode, I wanted to get into arguments because no matter what relationship, in a relationship, single, trying to mingle, you gonna argue at some point.
Right.
And hopefully you can find some good ways to maneuver through that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What do you think between, let's say a married couple, right?
Okay.
What do you think? Well, you can speak from that.
I can speak to that experience.
Being once married, what do you think the biggest like consistent argument was?
For my situation, well, are you speaking like personally or just generally speaking?
Whatever you want.
So so for us at that time, I am no longer married, of course. But shout out to my baby father. I think the biggest thing was kind of understanding one another. We were brought up different ways, you know, so like I'm severely emotional and real like high anxiety and real like real like gotta get everything off my chest all the time. And he was just real like reclusive type of like
Chill.
yeah, real like if I'm going through some shit like my misery don't like company type. That's really hard for me who like finds drama and everything. But I think that stems from communication. I think that I always had a big problem with just not knowing what the deal was. You know, like what's going on? Like why are you being so damn dry? Like what's the problem here? Like
I think
but I will say that the long distance aspect to that was not helpful. Like it's
Been
not
there.
yeah, it's
Been
not
there.
helpful.
actually like if you in a long distance relationship, communication is probably better than being you communicate better in a long distance relationship than you would in a regular relationship where y'all both together, because like it's literally the foundation of the relationship. Like
You
y'all
think?
gotta
I think it was easier opposite. I think it's easier for me personally to read the room like when you're in it.
gotcha.
You know, like so that like that weird dry texting thing. Like a person like me, my mind is gonna go from 0 to 100.
I think here's the misogyny. Like that's just women in general, and I think texting is a horrible way to communicate. But I think the reason why I say communication was big in a long distance relationship, because I was in one, and like you find ways to get creative. You know what I'm saying? And like
Oh, it definitely
should-
works. Like if you want it to work, it definitely works.
and just like you were saying from your own personal experience, like I'm the type of person, like when I'm going through shit, I think, just speaking for men, that's the way that we taught to just figure that shit out on our own. And once we've got a solution or we doing better, now we can bring it to our partner, not beforehand. Cause like you gonna really distract me on how I thought I was gonna handle this, and it's not always gonna be in the best way, but you know, you gotta let me go through trial and error. That's
I can get that. I can understand that now as somebody who has acted and spoken off of like initial emotions. Like I can see why like maybe letting it simmer like is probably the best way to go. Because I am and this is accountability for the women. I have said some wild shit at the side of my neck, like in the heat of an argument, because like I felt some type of way. So now I feel like I gotta make you feel some type of way.
right. And which brings me to first episode. When speaking about arguments, I was like, well, let's keep ourselves out of it and let's make this a general thing.
Right.
So the only way to make this a general thing, recently, in the last, month or so, a movie came out on Netflix, Malcolm and Maria. And it got a lot of different reviews. Some people liked it. Most didn't for some reason. But, like, I watched this and, like, I seen gold in it. It was, like, not the specific events, but if you take yourself out of it, I wouldn't know if you put yourself in it, there's a lot of undertone in certain arguments, in certain ways that we as humans argue. And I think it's like,
Well, you hit me up when it first came out. You asked me had I seen it, right? And then you said it was like mildly triggering.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I asked you why, because I didn't understand. I hadn't seen it yet at the time. I have seen it now, and I could see why it is maybe a little triggering.
If I'm being honest, when I first watched it, I watched it from a standpoint where I was at odds with somebody at the time. And so it was just not a good week to even watch that. So I'm watching it like, boy, that's the shit I'm talking about right there. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know what I mean? That's how that
So you
went.
could relate.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You've had heated arguments like that. So the entire movie, spoiler alert, if
Right.
you haven't seen it, is like one like ongoing argument.
Right.
So you've had one that was like, and then the weird part about it was to me was how like it de-escalated and like was intimate, and then like it was just back up again, like.
And so, cause let's slow it down for a second. So you just said heat of the moment, and just saying shit in the heat of the moment. Like, I want to know from your standpoint and just from a woman's standpoint, why is it the goal to go for the jugular? Like, because like at the end of the way I view like arguments, I'm not a argumentative person with a partner. I'm gonna say that in real life, fuck that. I'm gonna go for gold, but in a relationship, I'm not. But like, I just feel like I'm not gonna say something in this moment because at the end of the day, if you my partner, I know I love you, so I'm not gonna go there because it like you gonna hold that shit over my head later, and that's how that goes.
So the question is why, like, as a woman, go for the jugular?
Yes.
I don't know. I can honestly say, so for me, like I just said, accountability for women, for me, myself. And I've been in situations where like my feelings were so hurt that like, and it's kind of like a damn, I would never do you like this, bro, but now I have to show you like why I wouldn't do you like this, like. So I have been the type of person before. I have grown since then to like throw some shit in your face, like I do XYZ, like how could you do me like this type,
Right.
like. So yeah, I'm gonna make it hurt because like you made me hurt, and for that, and usually when you make me hurt, like I usually don't understand like what was the reason. Like I don't bother nobody, bro. I'd be like, I do everything I'm supposed to do, you know, in respect to the relationship that I'm in, you know, at the time. So like, you know, of course, because relationships differ or whatever.
Right.
So I feel like I do everything that I'm supposed to do. I have everything in line. I support in a million and one ways. So like, what was the fucking point? Like, why did you do all that? Like,
You spoke about being closed off, and like once you going through some shit, and then like men typically don't speak about it because what you just said. You said,
oh, because it gets thrown in your face.
Exactly.
Yes. I've said so. Yes, in the last episode of Grit Talk, if you haven't listened, go listen to it. It's what is it? Dick on the roulette table. Yeah. If you haven't listened, go listen to it. Yeah, men don't feel like they want to be expressive because it does get thrown in their face.
Right.
Yes, and there are people who selfishly like do things for compensation, I guess, whether it be emotional or, you know, like, thanks, babe, like, I really appreciate it, or like for some type of reciprocation, right?
Right.
That's not always the case. Like, for me, I don't do anything not out of love, but that's the whole thing. Like, if you know I just do everything for you out of love, like, why are you doing me dirty, bro? Like, what's the point? So now I gotta show you that, like, a motherfucker who don't love you not gonna do all this shit for you, bruh.
And see, okay, and just to reference back to the movie, so like the opening scene, clearly there's something wrong with her. She's upset. He's in his moment, and what you just was saying, she wound up his I guess his favorite shit was macaroni. Easy.
The Kraft macaroni,
yeah.
hell yeah.
And so she's pissed, but yet
She's making him the macaroni.
Right. And I think I'm a have to get it to women, because if I'm hot, I'm really not even trying to. I don't care. I ain't gonna say I don't care about you, but I don't care about your unnecessary needs that's not in the moment.
Because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning after a movie premiere, whatever, you know. I could see that though, because the beginning of the argument was like, nothing productive is gonna get said about this tonight, you know, like, because I know you. That's what she said.
Hold on. Let me ask you this before you continue. Are you a person that has to have that argument that night, or do you let's sit on it and then bring it up?
Now, the person I am today does not always want to speak about something in the moment because I react very emotionally. So I would like to have a minute to kind of simmer with it and maybe counsel myself and all of my other personalities in my head to make sure that like I'm not tripping or like really kind of go in every which avenue that I can before I start like an argument. Like I would rather it be a discussion where both of us come out with like a positive outlook or there's a decent outcome to it than me just spewing out the mouth because my feelings are hurt or I feel some type of way or like things just didn't go my way, so now I'm gonna lash out because I'm kind of a brat. But
I'm sorry to cut you off, but you were saying about you can see her doing that. And
yeah, because at the end of the day, like I'm gonna forever make sure you're straight. Like I'm gonna forever make sure that you're good. Like if you're hungry and at 2:00 in the morning after a movie premiere, if you piss me off, you're hungry, I'm still gonna make sure at least you have something on your stomach. And then whatever, if you want to get into it, we can get into it. But if I feel like it's not worth getting into at that time, which I feel like she said, then it's not worth it.
And I can't speak for every man, but I can speak for me. Yo, I got to do this tonight because first of all, if we reference back to the movie, it was his movie premiere. Mm-hmm. So this is an accomplishment. I definitely would have fucked at the end of this night.
The biggest night of his life, yeah. And that's
first
all he wanted to do. That's all he wanted to do.
That's my only knock about this movie, that they did not have sex. Spoiler alert. But they should have had sex. It was several times where it was on the table.
Like I said, that was the weird thing about it for me. It was so high, like, it was so high for a moment that, like, it was just, like, when it got low and to the point where, like, they were about to have sex and she just started up, I was like, damn, bitch, just... Ugh.
But I think, and... I want to say I am definitely this person. I'm definitely and another thing, like that's my
and another thing.
If that should be my AKA, because that's my thing. Like,
well, I did that the other day in the group chat.
Remember? Right. And because like I think about it, be like, man, nah, that shit pissed me out too. But I'm also a person that will suppress a lot of shit. But when it's time to talk about it, and this is why I cannot sleep on emotions, like, boy, I'm gonna hurt your feelings in the way that every situation that I felt uneasy about or uncomfortable about in this argument, I got receipts. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming with so many facts. Then in my experience, it always make the woman feel like, well, damn, was you unhappy this whole relationship? Like, why do you have so many?
Yeah, so much shit to say.
Right. And it's like,
I can speak to that too, because like this is why I be on your ass about breaking up with people, because like I get what you're saying. Like, you don't want to be the bad guy. You don't want to see a woman cry. You don't want to be in addition to any pain that the breakup is going to cause, right?
You're right.
It doesn't make sense.
In hindsight, I realize it's a in the moment thing, because I'm always a person that's thinking ahead. So I'm like, all right, we might have XYZ planned in the next couple weeks or next up a couple months.
But like that's a small L you can take for like the bigger L that like continuing to piss someone off is gonna cause. And I can speak to like, for someone who has been in a situation where, like, I really didn't know what the fuck was going on internally with my partner, like, that was the biggest downfall, Like, you and I are dating for however long, right? You're happy. You're unhappy, right? But you're putting on a face for me, and you're faking it till you make it, right? While we're in each other's faces, and then, like, behind the scenes, you're so miserable that, like, a year or two down the line, you're like, I can't do this shit no more. Like, then you blow up and you've got all these reasons as to why you're not happy.
Right, and that's
I'm
me.
I'm sitting here like, bro, what the fuck? We just had like the greatest time last weekend. Like, that don't make no sense.
Right.
Like, do you see how that? Not only have you wasted your time, because in the year that you've been unhappy, you can find somebody who is gonna like potentially keep you at the happiness level that you're at, because it's not their responsibility to make you happy, of course. But now you've wasted her time and then made her feel like, damn, like, where did I go wrong? Now I have to dissect every situation from the last year and some change, or even before that, if you've been dating longer than that, to see, like, what the fuck happened? Like, where could it have possibly gone wrong? Because, like, this whole time I'm thinking, like, shit is good money, and we're here. Like, we're here in this shitty situation.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where, like,
It's not as much of a slippery slope as men make it. Like, y'all just hate being the asshole. But essentially, if it comes to your happiness, like, that's okay.
and then I think I want to say, and I can't speak for all men or everybody, but I can say for myself, I'm more optimistic, because I always like, okay, like, I mean, I coming just from a black household, like, you come up and struggle, and you know there's gonna be struggling, but you understand that there are gonna be better days.
Right.
So I think men naturally would sit in a bad relationship and not say anything
that's actually 100% true. Like, or like go under the guise of like, you know what, like, maybe I could learn to deal with X, Y, and Z, or put up with X, Y, and Z.
And it
tears
like, your soul apart.
It's terrible. And I hate that men feel like they have to do that, and I hate that women make men feel like this is the end all be all. Because I know how hard we fall, you know? Like, I know how hard women love, like, in general, generally speaking. So I'm sure as a man, that feels like additional pressure to the relationship that, like, maybe you weren't, like, ready for if that wasn't what you were looking for.
What? I got a big question.
Oh, I love big questions.
And this is literally how the movie started, where he knows that something's wrong.
Right.
Why do women just be like, there's nothing wrong? And all the energy is off. Like I don't have time to play the guessing game of where I fucked up.
Well, men do the same thing, though. Y'all want to sit in your feelings and, like, start being dry and, like, just addressing everything with short answers when something didn't go your way or you feel some type of way about something. Men want to be left alone, right? Well, let me not speak for all men. You would like to be left alone, right? If something pisses you off.
I'm a hypocrite in this. I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because at this very moment, I feel like I have zero accountability. And I want to say, I will say, if like I said, if I'm fucked up, yeah, let me figure that shit out. Right. But if I'm mad at you,
you want to talk about it?
Yeah, more than likely, I want to address it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I said, I hate going to sleep. Sleeping with women is already a headache. Like, y'all take up the fucking bed. Y'all always cold, so now you got to sleep in warmer weather than you used to, and it's just, we can go all day on that shit. But like,
sleeping with women is a chore.
I hate your arm going to sleep every fucking time.
That's weird. Y'all don't turn away before she falls asleep?
That don't happen, because then y'all nuzzle y'all way back into the same position. I ain't felt my arm in 6 months. The lack of blood. But like, why is that a thing though? Like, why
to the point, like, referencing the movie, to the point of her, she was like, she said, I don't want to talk about it because something to the effect of, I don't want to talk about it because, like, I know nothing productive is going to happen tonight. Like, this is your night type of thing. Like, I'm going to let you rock tonight, which is cool. Like, I get it. Like, and if you know your partner and you know how they argue and what type of argument they're about to bring to the forefront of, you know, the conversation, then, like, yes, like, let's not talk about it. But I'm still gonna have an attitude. Like, I can't fake the funk.
See,
Like,
that's what I hate.
I can't
do
fake the funk.
Do it. Man, I guarantee.
But why does it, so, okay, so why does it make you so uncomfortable? If I'm telling you, yes, there is something wrong with me, but I need some processing time, and also I believe you should have your own time to sit with, like, maybe why, like, I might be upset.
I'm gonna forget.
You gonna forget?
Because 9 times out of 10.
When I'm gonna have an attitude again in the morning, like, but I don't like to go to sleep angry, so, like, I have to get the shit out. Like, it's kind of like word vomit. Like, it has to, but it depends on what it is. Like I said, sometimes I take a couple days to simmer because I could go from 0 to 100 really quick, you know? Or like, maybe I just need to get it all out and, like, just throw it all out on the table and just get it over with. It just kind of depends on the severity of the issue and the kind of attitude that I have. But I just feel like if I know you and if I know, like, this is a great night for you. This is the best night of your life. You had a movie premiere. You talked to critics all night. Things seemed like it was going well. Why would I want to add to that with an issue? Why would I want to soil that with an issue? And then, like, on top of soiling it, I know it's not even going to get fixed because you're not going to, I know the type of person you are. Like, I know what type of arguments you like to have and how it's not even going to be a productive conversation.
I can understand that. And this is why I speak to the being optimistic, because you fast forward to the end of the movie and look how more productive having all those arguments at one time, how it brought the relationship back together. And again, my biggest knock on the whole movie.
But was it really back together? Like,
I think so. Like,
because I feel like that is a regular occurrence for a relationship like that, you know? Like, for you to have had, the movie was almost 2 hours long. For you to have had 4, 5, 6 different arguments in one
night,
2 hours, like, span of time, like, you've made dinner, you've taken a bath, like, you've almost had sex at least 4 times.
Right.
Like,
but what I will say, too, like, and like, I love.
Zendaya, by the way, she looked good as fuck in that movie. She looked so good.
That's why I wanted to have sex the whole time. But I do feel like, granted, okay, you said 4 or 5 arguments in 2 hours, right? But if you, like, put that in real life, here's the issue between men and women. They don't argue like that, where, hey, you speak, I'm going to think about what you just said, and then I'm going to come back with a rebuttal.
Right.
And then I'm going to do that. What normally happens is you're going to say something, and I'm listening up until the point that I'm triggered. Now I have to respond.
Right.
And now it's not productive because now we're talking over each other.
Right.
And then on top of that, like, if you make a point, this is where women lose. If you make a point and it's not 100% fact, that just turned the dude up. Like, now I'm gonna go. You done fucked up. You said the information and it was false. Like, if you was to say,
but in the case of the movie, all of the opinions spewed out by both parties were all, like, subjective. They were all, like, based on feelings. My whole thing as a woman that men do a lot is you like to put
facts.
You guys like to fight in facts,
yeah.
which is fine. You can have facts to support your stance on the situation.
Receipts.
However, you do not get to tell people how they can feel or how they process their feelings or the information that's being thrown at them. You know? If you say some shit to make me upset, like you said some shit to hurt my feelings, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, I smell like soap and water. You say
shit. Damn.
Let's say you say some shit like that, and I felt some type of way about it, cause like damn, I use Dove. Like,
Probably nonsense all the time.
Hypoallergenic. I got sensitive skin. Like, what you say some shit to like hurt my feelings, right?
Damn, that's a
like,
while ago.
how do you can't tell me like what you meant. Oh, I didn't mean to make you
Right.
X, Y, and Z, because like it made me feel
Right.
how I felt like that, and that's a valid feeling. I feel like men like to cancel that shit out. Like they like to be like, I feel like, because I don't feel like that would make me feel this way. I don't understand why you feel that way,
Right.
and that's not fair. You guys don't get to dictate like how somebody processes some shit that's being thrown at them.
Here's the thing.
There's
right?
no thing. There's
Here's
no
the
thing.
Immediately, we just talking about triggers, right?
Right.
When I hear, I feel, I'm immediately triggered.
Why?
Because
But why?
I'm tell you why. Because if we go off, I feel, there's never a real answer. Because like you said, men argue in facts.
Right.
In facts, there's an answer. In feelings, it's subjective.
But that's where you come to like that mutual, like, we can disagree to disagree stance. Like, nobody has to win arguments. Like, that's not something that has to happen every time. You can both win by being like, you know what, I see what you're saying. I don't feel that way, but we can move accordingly to like make sure that we don't get to this point again.
Well, let me ask you this then, and be honest now.
Uh-huh.
How many times do y'all, if you felt the way, does that really uphold when a man be like, okay, you feel the way you feel, and I feel the way I feel, so let's just drop it? Is it really drop? Let's be honest. Because at the end of the day, you still feel that way.
It's another subjective thing, though, like, because it just depends on what it is. Like, unless there's some disrespect involved, like, I can probably let it go. I can probably be like, I see why you said the thing that you said. I can see why, like, you feel that way. Fine. I don't know everything. Like, I mean, and I can't dictate how you feel. Like, if you feel like X, Y, and Z is a fact, then shit is a fact to you. Like, and I love you, so I gotta respect that, you know? Like, but unless there's some disrespect involved, like, I don't see why you can't come to, like, a common ground where things are, they don't have to escalate any further. Just make some progress to move in a different direction so you don't end up back there, you know?
I just operating in my experience and in dating in my life. If I just give the argument up, meaning you said that doesn't have to be a winner. If I be like, all right, you right. You feel the way you feel. I don't understand it. It should be that's that.
Right.
But what happens is, because the feel is still there, I feel like women want you to sit in it. Like, and that goes into what I was saying, like, no matter right or wrong, once you feel away, we can't put a time on, like, okay, if I apologize, you're still mad, and you're still gonna show me that you're mad. You're not gonna show me that you might be like, okay, I said,
but that has more
you want us
to
to
do,
sit in it. I hate
no, but that has more to do with like emotional intelligence, you know? Like, so if you guys both come to an agreement that like, okay, this was not the wave, like we both were upset or whatever, and you come to that mutual understanding where like, I feel like this, I feel like this, I respect how you feel to your partner, you know, and they respect how you feel. So why continue to dwell on it is my thing, you know? Like, if we've come to like, I can't speak to all women to say that, like, ladies, I can't say this. Like, I do, like, if you are somebody who has cut the issue, right? Like, if you cut the issue and like, you're like, all right, cool, we're done arguing. Why hold on to that? Like, we're going to get wrinkles. We're going to get wrinkles. We're going to age real bad and real crazy in the face. Like, if we continue to let shit stress us out past its expiration date.
So, and that goes to going back to the movie too. And I think I mentioned this, but I think it was no definitive answer. Is sorry ever really enough? Because in the movie, in the beginning, the first time he was trying to get some cheeks, he was like, yo, I did not mean to not mention you.
Right.
I am sorry for it. I just caught up in the moment. Like, men, like,
But then it got progressively worse after that.
Right.
Like, spoiler alert, like, he done fucking named off at least 4 bitches he fucked after that, like, to throw it in your face to prove a point to you that you thought it was, like.
Right.
So,
but the initial thing was like, yo, I don't want to really do this tonight. I'm
right.
sorry. So is sorry really enough? Because based on what you said, even if the argument comes to a conclusion, you still feel the way you feel, and that night might be a dub. You might feel better in the morning,
right?
And that's why I say I feel like women want us to sit in it, because even if
sorry is enough if it's genuine and the changed behavior follows. Now, granted, he said sorry. There wasn't enough time to experience any changed behavior. Okay. And then, of course, you think like, oh, and another thing, and another thing, right. And another thing. And you mention it, and like in every argument you're having, now you're bringing up another shit to be pissed off with. Because 10 minutes before the movie end, she's talking about the second argument y'all had while you were yelling at her in the bathtub type thing. So like, if sorry is going to be it, let sorry be it. Because they're like, now if you're having multiple arguments or you're bringing up other shit like that you thought of about the previous argument, like That's a t-shirt. You're not gonna get anywhere. You're gonna be in this fucking like hamster wheel of like consistent aggression, which the whole movie was like. Right. It was wild from start to finish. But I mean, it's just like I said, it's counterproductive. If sorry is it, let it be it.
I think we reached common ground, because I honestly was unaware that maybe enough time hasn't went by for change behavior, because that is the best apology is change behavior. So I guess because I thought it's an ego thing for women. It's like, nigga, I'm mad, so you gonna have to feel it.
Yeah. No. All we want is for you to fucking flip the switch. If I tell you something hurts my feelings, and then you argue with why you hurt my feelings instead of like apologizing for acknowledging that you did, and then switching it up.
But would that not make you? I'm
That's
a firm
what makes
believer.
It worse. That's what makes it worse. Is like if you apologize to me for, say, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. That's not an apology. Like, man, I need y'all to stop doing that. Oh, I'm sorry you felt like this, but that wasn't my intention. I spoke about this on the last episode of Grit Talk. Intention versus impact is very real.
I missed a judgment based off
intention versus impact is very real.
Intent,
you can have
not my action.
No, because if your intentions might be good and well for yourself, but they impacted someone else negatively. That doesn't mean that it doesn't necessarily mean that you were wrong, but you also weren't right. And if you continue to maneuver in the way that's like, oh, well, that wasn't my intention, and ignore the fact that you impacted somebody negatively, then you're just kind of a dick. You're not operating how like normal, functioning, emotionally healthy people should. Like, it's okay to acknowledge that like you hurt somebody and switch it up.
I think this conversation has been productive, as I must say.
It's all about growth. On Who Mans Is This?
For sure.
It's all about growth.
My ultimate goal here is to be able to have uncomfortable conversations and get some resolution and some middle ground. And that's what we all about here. So if that's what you're looking for, this the place for
Come
it.
to Who Mans Is This?
Right. And hey, we signing out. I appreciate you.
Cassie Ray is out of here for episode 1, the pilot. It was a lovely conversation.
Right. We out.